Once you sign a term sheet, can you keep talking to other investors? Usually not. The no shop clause creates an exclusivity period where you must focus on closing with the committed investor, not shopping the deal elsewhere. Hi, I'm Preksha from Campus Fund, and today we're explaining no shop clauses in term sheets. This is a part of our larger series where we demystify the legal jargon that you see in term sheets and transaction documents. So let's get started. Right, first of all, what is a no shop clause? It is a clause, also called an exclusivity provision, that prevents the company from doing a bunch of things like soliciting other investors during the term sheet period, entertaining parallel term sheets, sharing confidential information with competing investors, or negotiating similar deals elsewhere. Right, so the typical terms that you see in a no shop clause is that uh, the duration is about 1 to 3 months. It could also be 45 to 60 days is generally the most common. It the no shop clause starts from the time that you've signed your term sheet. It allows enough time for there to be due diligence and documentation entirely. And of course, if things are getting delayed, it can be delayed by it can be extended by mutual consent as well. So what can you do if you are bound by a no shop clause? So you can continue normal business operations, of course. You can respond to inbound interest as well with disclosure to the current investor, and you can also talk to potential acquirers or strategic partners, again usually with the consent of the investor. So, why it exists is essentially that the investors invest time and legal cost in due diligence. So, this sort of creates a commitment and focuses on closing the deal as fast as possible, right? What founders should know about it is that this is binding. So, violating it will have legal consequences, or can have legal consequences rather. You can always negotiate reasonable timelines, right? Don't commit to 6 months, say maybe like 1.5 months or 2 months or 3 months maybe. um, you should also ensure that due diligence process is clearly scoped out in the term sheet. And along with that, always build in exit clauses if the investor misses on the agreed milestones as well. So yeah, that's kind of about it. When it comes to best practices, what you can think of is only sign the no shop clause after you're genuinely committed to that investor. Align on the due diligence timeline and everything else upfront. um, Also, you can keep other investors warm but transparent before signing. And you should always negotiate on breakage fees or penalties if the investor backs out. And yeah, that's about it. No shop clause are very standard and reasonable. They protect your investors' time and effort, but you should also negotiate the duration carefully and ensure that both the parties are equally committed to doing it. Yeah, so it's essentially about good faith, right? It's not just about legal restriction. And yeah, that's about it. If you have any other questions on it, I'd be happy to answer. You can drop them in the comments. And stay tuned, because next week we'll be back with another video demystifying legal jargon as always. Thank you for watching.